People around the world are anxiously watching as Americans choose the next president. One newspaper said, "The world holds its breath as America votes." Coverage in Russia has taken a more menacing tone. Elizabeth Palmer is in Moscow with how President Vladimir Putin is exploiting claims of Russian meddling in the election. Elizabeth, good morning.
Good morning. Well, there's plenty of coverage in the Moscow papers this morning. A nice picture of both candidates on the front page of one of the most widely read papers. Now, the coverage itself ranges from a claim by an analyst that a new president would surround Russia with nuclear weapons to fairly sober coverage of the economic fallout. But of course, the Kremlin's point of view has been obvious all along. On Red Square, a parade of World War II military hardware staged by the Kremlin. It commemorates Russian troops who died on the battlefield. But it also recalls an era when Russia was proud and powerful. That's a status President Putin wants to restore, and he blames the U.S. for getting in the way. President Obama's criticism of his autocratic government, for example. And the U.S. imposing sanctions after Russia invaded Crimea 2.5 years ago, as well as American backing for pro-democracy uprisings in Russia's backyard, Georgia and Ukraine. So, did Russian hackers try to meddle in America's election as a kind of payback? Putin ridiculed that idea at a recent conference and said America's reaction had been hysterical. Is the U.S. some kind of banana republic, he asked. The U.S. is a great power. Correct me if I'm wrong. Fedor Lukyanov was one of the organizers of the conference that hosted Putin. So it is a justification for example, interfering in the U.S. election campaign?
It's not a justification, maybe, but this is a logic which might be understood by people in Russia.
They would understand it in the context of Russian news coverage, which has criticized not only the U.S. voting system, but American democracy itself. This morning, the Russian state 24-hour news channel is broadcasting unprecedented coverage of the U.S. election, including a clock counting down the minutes until evening in New York, just before the first returns start to come in. And there will be many people across this country, including us, who will be up all night watching those returns come in. Gail?
Us too, Elizabeth Palmer. Looking forward to it. Thank you.